One of my spiders is falling down. Where are you going? Stay. Anyway.
Hello friends and fiends, and welcome to another episode of 31 Days of Halloween. Today I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite Halloween-esque movies. Now, a couple of these aren't really Halloween movies, but I like to watch them during Halloween anyway, so I thought I'd throw them in the list. Now, we're going to work backwards, so starting with number 10, Addams Family. Now, in this I am including Addams Family Values because I do like both of them. I do love Addams Family Values because who can resist an evil Joan Cusack? She is amazing in that movie. If you haven't watched them both back to back around Halloween, highly recommend it. Grab some coffee, some tea, put on a weird spooky soundtrack in the background. I don't know how you watch your movies, but if you need to watch it for Halloween, highly recommend it. Number 9 is Zombieland, and this is one of my all-time favorite zombie movies. It's so kitschy and sarcastic and just a perfect mix of like scary and gross and humor and comedy. So this is one of my all-time favorite movies to watch during Halloween or during any part of the year that I decide to watch it. Woody Harrelson is incredible as always, and you get to fall in love with a grown scary man who just wants a Twinkie. Number 8 is technically not a Halloween movie. It is actually set around Christmas time, but it is Edward Scissorhands. Now, for the sake of this, we are going to pretend that Johnny Depp isn't a piece of shit and that he hasn't ruined hundreds of my favorite movies by being an ass. So, Edward Scissorhands. It is a classic. It is one of my all-time favorite 90s movies. It's gloomy and kind of sad and endearing at the same time. Plus, who can turn down an excuse to have Winona Ryder back on your television? So, that is why it's in this list. Number 7 is definitely a cult favorite of mine. It is The Lost Boys. Now, this movie was actually the inspiration for a lot of the special effects used in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is one of my all-time favorite TV series. So, looking at the prosthetics used in this movie is very interesting, and a lot of the themes and the way that vampires act, the lore, is a lot of what is taken and used and kind of shifted a little bit to be used in Buffy and also future vampire movies. The way that each vampire dies in this movie is unique to that vampire, which I think is something that hasn't really been done in any other vampire movie. And it's a very cool kind of way that they don't have to have the same death scene every time a vampire is staked or drowned in holy water or burned or something like that. Number 6 is The Craft. This was one of the first horror movies that I ever watched by myself, which was a mistake because once you get into the third act of this movie, it gets a little crazy. Neve Campbell is incredible in The Craft. She is one of my favorite horror movie actresses. One of my spiders is falling down. Where are you going? Stay. Anyway. If you loved Heathers, you will probably also love The Craft. It's very reminiscent of each other. They were done around the same time, and stylistically, they're both very similar. But if you like The Craft, you will not necessarily love Heathers, because I do not like Heathers. Number 5 is Practical Magic. Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock are absolutely perfect in it. There's something about a good witch movie that's just perfect to me, especially during Halloween time, and this is one of those. Number 4 is Corpse Bride, which is one of the most underrated Tim Burton films. The characters are so sweet, and the songs are incredible and very creepy, and anyone who has seen Nightmare Before Christmas definitely should have seen Corpse Bride. They go hand in hand, and they are the perfect duo movies to watch during Halloween. I also have a little doll of Emily somewhere in my room who has ironically lost the only arm that she has. Number 3 is a series of movies, and it is Halloween Town, not including number 4. We have all universally agreed that number 4 does not exist. Halloween Town is one of those perfect Disney Halloween movies that just makes you feel like warm and ready for fall and ready for everything Halloween. So it's one of my favorite movies to put on during the beginning of October and then try and sneak in about 3 more watches of it before November comes. Number 2, we've all seen it coming, is Nightmare Before Christmas. This is one of the best animated films I've ever watched. The songs are amazing, the themes are amazing, the characters are iconic, they are everywhere you look now. No dark kind of horror musical style animated films existed before Tim Burton unleashed his weird mind on the world. So that is why it is one of my favorites. And finally, this is no shock to you or to anyone, but my all-time favorite Halloween movie is Hocus Pocus. It is one of the best movies, in my opinion, for children or adults, anyone. The jokes are classic, the characters are original, the love interest isn't too much. They don't throw it in your face that these two people love each other. It's funny, it's a little dark, a little creepy. It is the perfect Halloween movie to me. Anything Bette Midler is in is automatically going to be very good. So it is a safe bet that if you haven't ever seen Hocus Pocus, which what have you been doing? Please go watch it. Turn off this video and just go watch it. That you will fall in love with this movie and want to watch it every year following. Plus there's a cat in it, so what more do you need? Some honorable mentions that did not make it into my top 10 are the Harry Potter series, which I do like watching around Halloween time, but I feel like they are also very clearly a Christmas movie watch series as well. So I didn't throw them in this list to leave a little bit more room for other movies, as well as Xenon, Z2, and Z3, which are another one of my favorite Disney Channel movie series. They may not seem very Halloween specific, but the kind of futuristic sci-fi nature of it is something that I really enjoy watching around Halloween. Gremlins is another favorite of mine, but I also watch that around Christmas, so I don't really associate it too much with just Halloween, but it is a really fun, really cute movie to kind of rewatch, especially if you haven't seen it in years. Another honorable mention is Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy. This is a movie that not a lot of people tend to rewatch, and I think it's deserving of a higher place in the Halloween world. And the final Halloween honorable mention is Casper Meets Wendy. Now I know a lot of people would say that Casper is better, but I saw Casper Meets Wendy first during my obsession with Lizzie McGuire, hence my preference for Casper Meets Wendy. And those have been my top 10 favorite Halloween movies. Let me know down below if any of these are your favorites, or if you have ones that might make my list. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. I don't know what I'm talking about.